and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is Do They Miss You? So this can be about anyone that you no longer have contact with, an ex, romantic partner, a former friend, an estranged family member, whatever it is. There are 4 piles to choose from here, and I suggest selecting your pile based on the pile marker that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 1, which is this one, the pink one that has a heart and wings, because when I was younger and I would go visit my father, he would take me to this one pizza restaurant in his town, and they had those like vending machines at the front where you stick quarters in and then you can get little toys and stuff. But I remember there was one of the things that you could get were temporary tattoos, but they had ones that looked like this, and I wanted to get that one so bad. So that's why I would choose my pile. Feel free to pause the video now to select yours. I'll put the timestamps in the description down below. Let's get started. If you selected pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's find out if the person you're thinking of misses you. We're starting off your spread with Judgment, and Judgment is a card that's all about, kind of like your life purpose, your destiny almost. And so I think, yes, this person misses you, and they feel like you two were supposed to be in each other's lives. I think for like 95% of you, the person that you're asking about is an ex or an ex-romantic partner. There is a lot of kind of like romance vibes that I'm picking up from this. So for a lot of you, this person could even see you as like their soulmate or the one, which may or may not, align with how you feel about this person. Maybe this person did not treat you that well, and they kind of have like the grass is always greener on the other side type of thing. I feel like a lot of you are asking about someone who never seems truly satisfied with where they are, and because of that, they're very unappreciative. They do not really practice gratitude in their relationships, and because of that, they're kind of emotionally dissatisfied. But I do feel like now that they have had time away from you, that they've had this distance, they do romanticize the relationship with you a lot, and they do kind of see you as someone who is very important to their life and to their growth. And that's also coming through in the next 2 cards here. We have this King of Swords and the Page of Swords. So if you know anything about tarot, there's these cards called the court cards, and those are the people, and there's kings, queens, knights, and pages. So pages are like the bottom tier. Those are the kind of naive ones. They're the youngest ones. They're the most immature ones. And the kings are considered, the top tier. Like these are the masters of whatever suit they're in. And so this feels like this person felt like they grew a lot because of you, especially in their mindset. Swords are all about mental clarity, your mindset, the way you think. And so maybe they realized how badly they fumbled, or how much they didn't appreciate what they had while it was there. And because of that, they've really worked on their mindset a lot. And I think maybe they have tried to grow as a person. That being said, the other message that I'm getting from this is that they have a fear that even though they've grown, you are continuing to grow. And so even if they have grown and now they're at a place where they're like a lot more emotionally mature, or they have a more positive mindset, they're still not going to be at your level. They feel like you might be still, you might be the king to their page, even if they themselves have upgraded from where they used to be a page into a king. They still feel like you're like a few steps above them. And so that worries them. They think that if they come back towards you, that they will be rejected because they're not good enough, or you're like too good for them, which is probably the case. So this person could be a Libra or have a prominent Libra placement in their natal chart. That would be their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. But they can also kind of embody those Libra traits, which is someone who can be initially very charming, but they also will kind of just say, and no offense to Libras, but this is kind of like, the shadow side of being a Libra is that they do not have a very strong sense of self, and they will basically do anything to like avoid an argument. So this person would probably just like tell you exactly what you wanted to hear, but they don't actually put the effort in behind it. Or you might have felt like this person was all talk, or you might have felt like they were kind of shallow, or they just weren't investing in you, and they weren't willing to like try to work on things because they felt like it's going to be easier somewhere else. They think having to put in effort is like a personal affront to them. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting. I think for a lot of you, this is a romantic relationship. So maybe, let's say you lived with this person and you were having financial issues and you were like, hey, we need to like sit down and make a budget. This person would be like, ugh, I don't want to talk about this. Like, I don't want to have these hard conversations. Why can't it just be easy like it was when we first started dating and we didn't have our lives intertwined? And it's like, yeah, well, this is like the cost of being in a relationship. Like, you have to have tough conversations, but this person didn't get that. They want everything to be easy because that means that they can get like the most reward with minimal effort. And again, I think this person at least feels like they have grown out of that a little bit, but I think they also would think that you maybe are just not that impressed by them. Like I said, with the King and Page of Swords. So with the Fool card in your spread here, I do think that this person has intentions of reaching back out to you. So if you are in a place of no contact, I do think this person will be reaching out. They want to have a new beginning with you. That's what the Fool is all about. It's a very first card in a tarot deck, and it literally represents like taking a chance, taking a leap of faith, seeing where it goes. I'm also getting from this that they really see you as someone who is very independent and someone who is very like very sure of themselves. Like you know who you are, you know what you like, you know what your values are, and I don't think this person is like that at all. Like I said, they kind of have like a shadowy Libra aspect, and so if you think of like a natal chart wheel, if you know anything about astrology, Libra traditionally falls into the 7th house, which is the house of the other, the first house of the self. And so if you have your sun sign, which is, your personality, your core self in Libra, which I think some of these people that you're asking about do, or if you're really embodying that Libra energy, then you are kind of sublimating yourself, or you only see yourself through the other people's perception of you. Whereas I think the people who are viewing this pile have a very strong sense of self that is not really determined by like peer pressure or wanting to fit in. I think this person really is that way, and they admire that you have such strong like stances. But I think also that's one of their fears about approaching you, is that you're like, why? I don't need validation from you. Like I don't want closure. I'm good. I'm actually okay. But like I said, I do think that this person will reach out, especially with the Ace of Swords too at the end of the spread here. Ace of Swords is all about incoming messages. And so I can definitely see this person maybe reaching out to you on social media, sliding into your DMs, texting you, whatever it is, just trying to, and I don't even think they'll say that much at first. It feels like maybe they'll just be like, hey, just to see kind of like what your reaction would be, or if you're open to speaking with them. But this person definitely thinks about you a lot. They miss you. They see you as like a really important catalyst in their life for their self-growth, whether or not they have actually grown. But yeah, I think they feel that you were meant to come together and maybe are still meant to be together, but I don't feel like the people that are watching this pile are that open to reconciliation with this person. So on the back of the pile marker that you selected, it says, when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. So yeah, this person still considers themselves to have a lot of love for you. they replay memories that they've shared with you a lot, and they feel like, they do kind of beat themselves up for like fumbling the relationship with you. And like I said, I think 95% of you, this is a former romantic partner. And that's especially coming through with the tea leaf fortune cards we pulled. So the first one is Rose, and this says romance is in the air. So definitely feel like this is someone that still would say that they have romantic feelings for you. Like, even if they're in another relationship, again, I feel like this person is the grass is always greener on the other side. So even if they are currently in a relationship, I think if you were to like come back and be like, I want to be in a relationship with you, they would break up with their partner and get with you. But I think they would get with you, and then they would fall into the routine of like being with you, and then they would not appreciate it, because that's just how this person is. The second card we pulled is Apple, which says temptation will test you. So I do think that this person is tempted again to reach out to you. I do think that they will eventually. They weigh it back and forth a lot because they think about you all the time. And another thing I want to add is both roses and apples are things that are associated with goddesses of love, like Aphrodite, Venus. So again, there's a lot of like romance energy here. I think this person still thinks about you frequently. They want to reconcile with you. They want to speak to you again, even if it's just to kind of like have a monitor on you, basically. They don't want you to move on. They want you to still feel drawn to them because they still feel drawn to you. I think they are checking up on you regularly. They think about you a lot. Overall, this person definitely misses you, but I don't know if it's in your best interest to actually like give them another chance or try to date them again. If this is not a romantic partner, this is someone who misses being around you and like the positive memories that you shared. But I don't know that this person has actually changed enough to where you could resume a healthy friendship or familial relationship with this person, because I think although they'd like to think that they've grown mentally and broken a lot of their habits, and maybe they have some of them, I still think that this person is just a little too unconfident to feel like satisfied with where they are, and because of that they take it out on the people that are in their lives. So that is it for your reading, my pile ones. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out if the person on your mind misses you. So I want to start off by talking about the middle card in this spread here, the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups is a card about grieving something that you've lost. And if you look at this card, the person in the card is facing towards these 3 cups that have been spilled. This is what has been lost, right? And behind this person, there are 2 cups. So those are still fine, but the person is still staring at these 3 cups and grieving what has been lost. And the message of the 5 of Cups is really like, once you get done grieving and you turn around, there is like something on the other side. But this is really interesting perspective, because I see this as the spread having 2 sides. So on one side, they are mourning you. They do miss you. And the reason why they miss you is because they really did have this fantasy in their mind of you two kind of like building together and having like a long-term relationship or very happy, satisfying relationship with each other. And that's shown in the first 2 cards here, which are to the left. These are the 3 things that have been spilled. This is on the spilled cup side. So we have the 2 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. 2 of Wands is a card that's all about planning, seeing your future together, like imagining how things will be, taking the steps to progress in a relationship. And so I think this person thinks, wow, if, me and this person were still talking, or if we were still dating, if we were still friends, whatever it is, then we could have had so much fun together. And that's being shown in the 10 of Cups, which is a card that's all about happiness. And if you look at this card, it's like a family. So for a lot of you, this could have been a romantic partner that you're asking about, and they're saying, yeah, I was planning, to build a future with this person. I was planning to get married, to buy a home, to have children, to start a family. And Ten of Cups is also a card that's about happiness and shared happiness. So really enjoying your lives together. And so I think, yes, this person does more than that, because I think they did have plans for you to have this wonderful future together. And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. If this is about maybe a former friend or a former family member, this is them thinking, I thought we would have a relationship forever, and I thought we would continue to grow, and we would see each other through all these huge life changes and be there, for each other in the good times and the bad times, and we'd have emotional support for each other. Now, that being said, that's what they're mourning, right? We have the Two of Cups behind them. And the way that I'm reading this, okay, the Two of Cups in tarot, because there is a Two of Cups card, is a card that's about relationships. And so it feels like, this person romanticizes what could have been, or they have kind of an optimist view of what could have been. But the actual reality of what has been left behind in the relationship are these two cards at the very end here, which is the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Swords. And the Seven of Swords, I hate to say, is a card that is all about sneakiness and betrayal. So if this was a romantic relationship, for a lot of you, this person could have cheated on you. For a smaller percentage of you, you could have been the one doing the cheating. Maybe you were unfaithful or unloyal to this person, or maybe they see it that way. Maybe they have kind of, twisted this in their mind to make you the bad guy in this situation. But overall, I think the reality of the relationship, if you had continued to be around this person would have continued to basically drain you of your resources, to be sneaky. They were lying to you about something. They basically would do anything to put themselves on top or get what they want. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and they don't really care about your feelings about it. And that's really coming through in the Knight of Swords card. So if you look at this card, it's a person riding on a horse, right? And this person's charging on the horse. And the way that I always see this is the horse is kind of oh my God, this person is going way too fast or asking way too much of me. But the person riding the horse doesn't care. They're I don't care how the horse feels. I'm on a mission. They're not even noticing how their actions are impacting the horse or the other people around them. And the Knight of Swords I also see often as a mansplainer card, regardless of whether or not this person was a man. This is just someone who always thinks they're right and lacks serious tact. This person can be really cutting with their words. They could be really harsh. This could even be someone who is verbally abusive. And so this is just someone who always puts their needs or their desires above other people and thinks anyone else's ideas is stupid, basically. So this person could have been a Gemini or had a prominent Gemini placement in their natal chart. That would be their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. But generally, they were embodying that Gemini energy. And this is no hate to Geminis. I'm a Gemini apologist. I love Geminis. But if you think of kind of the shadowy aspects of a Gemini, they're represented by the twins. So there's a duality there. That's why they're called two-faced, right? On the one side, this person could be very sweet. They could be very charming, very loving. They seem very smart, very intellectual. But on the other side, this person can be very manipulative. They can be very headstrong. They can be very blunt. And so I think in this person's mind, the person that we're asking about, they do miss you because they think, oh, we could have had such a great future together. But the reality of the situation is that I don't think this person was very nice to you at all. And I think this person fumbled the relationship by lying or cheating or doing something that made you walk away from them. And again, I think that's how this spread is manifesting for 95% of you. For maybe 5%, these people think that you are the betrayer, or that you have betrayed them in some kind of way. And so they're yeah, I miss you. I miss when I thought that we could have this beautiful future relationship together, but then you went and did this thing to me. But again, that's for a very small percentage. And I think if that is you, you will know that because probably this person has said something to you along the lines of like, I can't believe you betrayed me. But yeah, for most of you, I think this person misses you, but their missing you isn't rooted in like the reality of the way that they treated you. Like, yeah, it's easy to say we could have been so happy together, but you were actually like lying to me and you were really mean to me and you mistreated me and you didn't consider my feelings in anything you did. So I don't know that we would have ever gotten to that 10 of Cups happiness anyway. And with the pile marker that you selected, on the back of this card, it says, wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. And so I think even though this person does miss you, I don't think that they will be reaching out. This seems like they probably have thought better of it. Maybe they know that they have hurt you very severely and they're like, I'm not going to reach out because I think if I push it, this person is going to be angrier at me. And that's also reflected in the tea leaf fortune cards we pulled for this pile. So the first one is pineapple, and this is reconciliation. So again, I do think that this person fantasizes about reconciliation because they had a fantasy of where your relationship was going to go, of you two being very close. But that is not reflective of the actual reality of what the relationship is or what it would be today if you were still around each other, which is coming through in the second tea leaf fortune card here, feather, which says someone you know is undependable and insincere, which goes with that 7 of swords and that knight of swords. Undependable, that 7 of swords. This is not someone that you could trust. This is not someone that you could ever like trust fully again after you felt betrayed by them. And because of that, I think this person knows better than to try to come forward. Although, yes, they do miss you and yes, they think about you. But overall, I don't think that this person is very like kind-hearted or that you would benefit from having them reach back out to you or be in your life again in any kind of way. So thank you for watching my Pile 2s. That is it for your reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's find out if the person on your mind misses you. So we're starting off your spread with the Star. And the Star is a really interesting card because if you know anything about tarot, right, there is part of a tarot deck that's called the Major Arcana, and it's all these cards that have the words on them, the archetypes. So the Star, the Chariot, the Fool, things like that. And the Star was kind of towards the end of the Major Arcana. It comes right after the Tower. And the Tower, to me and to a lot of people, is one of the kind of scariest cards to get in a reading because it's this card about things that you've built up kind of crumbling down or really shocking, jarring changes happening in your life. But the Major Arcana tells a story. So the cards are placed in the order that they're placed in for a reason. The reason why I say all this is because the Star comes directly after the Tower. And so the Star can really indicate a period of like healing and restructuring, getting back to the basics and like figuring out, okay, how do I move forward from here? What is my goal? What is my vision? And so in this particular reading, when we're talking about this person that you maybe are no longer in contact with, we're asking, do they miss you? I think, yes, they do miss you. For a lot of you, I'm getting that this is a previous like romantic partner or someone that you were romantically entangled with. And I don't think that this breakup went over well. And it's something that I think both of you have had to heal from emotionally in different ways. This person feels like they have healed a lot and they've reflected a lot. And through that reflection, they've realized that they do miss you quite a lot. And their goal, their dream, their wish is to one day be reunited with you. And that's also being reflected in the next card here, this King of Cups. So I believe this represents the person that we're speaking about. So they could be a Scorpio or have a prominent Scorpio placement in their natal chart. That would be their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. But generally, they are embodying this King of Cups energy, which is someone who, at least through this person's vision, this may not be accurate to how you see this person, but they think that they have really grown emotionally, that they're a lot more emotionally intelligent, that they're more patient, that they're more kind, that they're more emotionally receptive to you. And that's also being signaled by this body language, right? This person is sitting on their throne. They're kind of looking towards these other cards, which I think represent your energy. And they're holding this cup as if maybe they're going to offer it to you. And cups in tarot represent emotions. So I think this person does really want to confess their emotions to you and say, hey, I regret how things ended. I feel like I've grown a lot. I feel like I've changed and I can be better for you. Now, kind of the dark side of this is that if you think of scorpionic qualities, the qualities of a Scorpio, kind of the negative traits, or they can be kind of very broody and possessive and intense. And so maybe that was part of the issue with this person, was that they were kind of like emotionally terrorizing you. This is someone who can be very like uses their emotions as a weapon. You know, they're like, you hurt my feelings when you've done something that is pretty normal. Like, oh, I just heard, like, who is it? Jonah Hill, who was dating that woman who was a surfer maybe. And he was like, I don't want you going out in a bikini. And she's like, well, that's my job. I'm a surfer. But he was like, you're disrespecting my boundaries. You're like, you're hurting me. So it's almost like using the language of like, you are hurting me, or using kind of like therapy language in order to weaponize that and make someone else feel as if they're crossing boundaries or they're being inappropriate in some kind of way. So that may resonate for some of you, but that might be part of the reason why you and this person stop speaking to each other or stop seeing each other, whatever it is. But I do think, again, that this person can have kind of like a possessive quality to them, and also can weaponize their emotions, which may be, again, one of the reasons why. Now, with the Four of Cups in the middle of the spread here, I think the person on this card represents you, which is someone who is not interested in it. Like I said, the person that we're talking about, this King of Cups, they've got this cup in their hand. And if you look at the Four of Cups card, there's this hand extending out, offering the cup to the person in the card. And the person on the card's not even looking at it. They don't care. They've got their arms crossed. Their body language is closed off. They're literally in front of a brick wall. It's like trying to talk to a brick wall. And their sweatshirt says over it. And so I think that is how you feel. You are over this person trying to sweet talk you, trying to get you back. And maybe they even, I think for a lot of you, they have tried to talk to you, and maybe they stopped recently, and that's why you're watching this. You're trying to understand, like, oh, do they not care anymore? But I don't think it's that they don't care. I think it's that this person does feel this energy from you. They feel that you're done with it, that they're sweet talking, their emotional manipulation, their love bombing, whatever it is no longer penetrating you, that you have put up your boundaries, that you've put up your fences, and you're no longer interested. And that's also coming through in the last two cards in your spread here. So we have, at the very end, the Hermit, and I think this represents you and your energy. So you could be a Virgo or have a prominent Virgo placement in your natal chart, sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, Venus sign. But again, it doesn't have to be the case. You're just generally kind of embodying this Hermit energy because of maybe your fallout with this person. And the Hermit is someone who goes their own way, even when it's difficult, even when it's lonely, because they know ultimately it will bring them a greater sense of enlightenment than if they stay being like dependent on someone else. And so you've gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of clarity from no longer having the relationship with this person. And because of that, you feel comfortable like cutting them off and being like, you don't get access to my energy anymore. And that's also being represented on the card here of this person who's closing a laptop. So this person might have tried to contact you through social media and you just didn't respond, or you blocked them or whatever. So, or I think this person will be reaching out to you soon and you will have the opportunity to turn them down because you don't think it's worth it now that you have grown and learned from this lesson of whatever this relationship was with this person. And like I said, that's also reflected in the fourth card we have here, which is this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And Ace of Pentacles is an offer. It's something tangible. It's giving someone your energy, your time, your effort. And so in reverse, it's you saying, yeah, you don't get access to that anymore. You don't get those privileges from me. I'm keeping it to myself. And so definitely, yes, I do think this person misses you. I think this person even really wishes that they had access to you again, that they could get back together with you. But I think they also are aware that you are done with them, done with their BS, and they feel like they don't have the same emotional hold over you that they used to, which is making it difficult for them to come back or try to sneak their way back into your life. That's also being reflected in the pile marker that you selected. So on the back of this card, it says, Sacred Union, honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. And I think this is how that person feels, especially with the star there. Like I said, they've had the realization that you are kind of this wish fulfillment for them. They wish they had, watered their grass where they were instead of thinking it was greener on the other side. So they're kind of beating themselves up, being like, I took this person for granted. I didn't treat them well when I had access to them, but might be too little too late. And that's being reflected also in the tea leaf fortune cards I pulled for this pile. So the first one is Dagger, and this says, fear, worries, and tense situations. So again, I think for a lot of you, you stop talking to this person or distance yourself from this person because they put you in these tense situations where they kind of made you feel guilty for not almost like sacrificing your own well-being for them. For a lot of you, I do feel like this person's very emotionally manipulative. But I also think this person now has a fear and worry because they don't have their supply. They don't have their access to you anymore. And their fear is that even if they do approach you again, that you are just going to reject them because you have grown past your need for like closure from them, or you've grown past like the games that they want to play with you. And the second tea leaf fortune card we have here is Bat. This says, take care, enemies are working against you. And, maybe you consider this person your enemy now because they wronged you so badly. But yeah, I think they definitely have, because they miss you, they do have intentions of coming back eventually. So I think this is almost a warning of, gird your loins. Know that this person is watching you. They want to reach out to you. They want to get back into your life, and they may say whatever it is that they think they need to say in order to regain access to you. But again, I think that the people that selected this pile have grown a lot since your relationship with this person fizzled out. And because of that, you are not as receptive to whatever this person is trying to get you to do, or you're not as receptive to like their words. Now you're about that action. And the other message that I'm getting from this is that this person might blame other people for why your relationship fell out. So for example, let's say that, this person was treating you poorly. All your friends and family were like, hey, you need to cut this person off. And instead of being like, damn, I was treating that person poorly, they're like, their friends and family are trying to keep us apart. Another example is maybe like, let's say you were in a relationship with this person, they maybe cheated on you, someone sent you a hey girly text, and that's how you found out. And then this person was like, oh, that person was just trying to sabotage our relationship, even though they did do it, It's like, well, why'd they have to tell on me? If you didn't know, you wouldn't be upset with me. We could still be together. So that's kind of like this person, I think, projects a lot onto other people, and they do have a hard time taking accountability. So, just keep that in mind, because like I said, they definitely miss you. I think they fully intend to come back. They're going to try to sweet talk you and weasel their way back in. In their mind, they think that they've grown a lot. Whether or not they actually have is, up to you and your discretion. But I do think for most of you, you have grown past being like naive to this person and their gaslighting, their emotional manipulation, whatever it is. So that is it for your reading, my pile threes. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out if the person on your mind misses you. Okay, this pile is really interesting to me. So I want to start off first by talking about the card in the very middle of the spread here, which is this 2 of Swords. And when I see the 2 of Swords show up in the middle of the spread, I see the cards on either side as kind of being like, in cartoons when there's a devil and an angel on the shoulder, it kind of feels like that. Like there's 2 sides to this, because the 2 of Swords is a card that can be about weighing options or feeling like you can't make a decision. Swords in tarot represent your thoughts and your mindset. So the person that you're asking about here does think about you. And on one hand, on one side, I think they do miss you sometimes, but I think they also recognize that being with you would be detrimental to some of their personal objectives. And I'll get into what that means. So on the left side of the spread here, we have this King of Pentacles and this 8 of Pentacles. And I do think the King of Pentacles represents the person that you're asking about. So this person could be a Taurus or have a prominent Taurus placement in their natal chart. That would be their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. But generally, they are embodying this Taurus energy, which is someone who is reliable, dependable, responsible, very grounded. Kind of the shadow side of this is that they can be very stubborn in my way or the highway. And if they feel like something or someone does not align with the way they think things should be, then they will just cut them out. And I want to note that on the very other end of the spread here, we have this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, that's a couple, right? And that's a perfectly matched couple. They're the same suit, like they're supposed to rule together. And so I think this Queen of Pentacles in reverse represents you in this person's mind. So I do think on some level, they do think that you were very compatible. They think that you had a lot in common. They do feel like they could have built on a future with you, but because the Queen of Pentacles is reversed here, they feel like it's almost like you are not aligned in the way that they think you could be. And I'll get more into that, but like I said, on the left side of this 2 of Swords, left side of the spread, we have the person you're asking about, the King of Pentacles, and then the 8 of Pentacles next to them. And so it feels like they really probably prioritize their finances or their work or their career a lot. And I think being apart from you has allowed them to really like get into that or focus on their own personal growth, particularly when it comes to finances. So for a lot of you, what I think is happening here is that this is maybe someone you dated who broke up with you and was like, hey, I really gotta like get my money up. Like I can't date right now. I gotta go focus on this or my career, or I need to like move for this job or something. But take as it resonates. That doesn't have to be 100% for everyone, but I do feel like this person feels like now, maybe because they're not in contact with you, they do have a lot of time to devote to these things that are very passionate that they are very passionate about. So for a lot of them, that is their career, but it could be like a hobby or like a side hustle or something, but they are devoting a lot of time to it. That's what this Eight of Pentacles card is about. You can see in the illustration, this is someone practicing what looks like they're drawing, but this is a card about really like loving the journey and loving the process and putting your head down and getting the work done. So this person has been very busy, has been very distracted. Now, like I said, I do think that they still think about you quite regularly, and that's really coming through in the two cards on the right side of the Two of Swords here, which is the Devil and that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So like I said, I think this person is seeing you as this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So for some of you, they see you as someone who is a little bit of a drain on their financial resources. Now, again, take what resonates. This doesn't have to be for everyone, but like, for example, if you were dating this person and they stopped dating you and were like, hey, I really need to focus on like making money or building up my career, that might be one of the reasons they were like taking you out on dates, or maybe even like if they were supporting you financially in some kind of way, they're like, that's too much for me. Now, if you're like, I never needed this person to get me anything, or they weren't really like taking me on dates or whatever, then the Queen of Pentacles can be someone who is just ungrounded. Maybe they felt like your goals were unaligned because, again, this person seems very career-oriented, finance-oriented, and maybe you're not that way. Maybe you're like, what I really care about is having fun, and like a job is kind of secondary to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they felt like maybe because of that, you two weren't aligned. And I think they still feel that way in their mind. They're still seeing you as someone who is not as secure secure as in like stable as them. And again, this is just that person's point of view. It doesn't have to be, 100% true to how you perceive the relationship. This is just how this person is feeling. And with the Devil here, I think that this person also felt like maybe you two were codependent, or you in particular were very dependent on this person. Again, it could be specifically financially, but they felt like when you were together, maybe they were being brought down a little bit. Because the Devil is this card. I mean, you can see on the card, it's like you're together, you're chained together, but you're chained. Like you have limitations because you have attached yourself to this person or this idea. And so for a lot of you, like I said, maybe this situation is you were dating this person, you really just wanted to go out and have fun, and they're like, wait, I need to like lock in and think about my career right now, and I can't do that because I'm spending all my time with you. And so maybe that's why you two broke up, if this was a romantic partnership, and then now you're sitting here asking, well, do they even miss me? And again, I think the answer is yes, but they're really like so busy and so focused on their own thing that I don't think this person intends to like reach out or try to rekindle with you. Because again, like I said, the Two of Swords is a card that's about inaction. So I think there's a lot of thought about you, but I don't think that there's any intention to rekindle because they still feel like reuniting with you would be detrimental to their own growth, and that's what they're really focused on right now. And for your pile marker on the back of that card, it says, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. So again, I think this person, I wouldn't say that they're harboring negative feelings toward you, which it might sound like with the Devil and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I think they're just like, we are not aligned. And that's okay, but it's not going to work out because we're not aligned. And again, like I said, for some of you, it could even be that this person literally moved for a job and they kind of like stopped talking to you. They cut off contact with you because you're no longer seeing each other. And you're like, oh, do they not care at all? It's like, no, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I feel like we're we are where we need to be at this particular moment in time, and it doesn't benefit either of us to still like try to hold on to that emotional connection when nothing's going to come to fruition from it. But yeah, I think this person does still harbor like tenderness towards you. But again, it says nothing is missing on here. I don't think that this person feels like they need to actually reunite with you or speak with you again. I think they feel satisfied with where your relationship is at this current moment in time. And for your tea leaf fortune cards, the first one I pulled is Crown, and this says honor and respect will come to you. To me, this really goes to that King of Pentacles, who in this card is literally wearing a crown. I think this person is really focused on building themselves up and getting, honor and respect and feeling like they can respect themselves. And right now that does not include the relationship with you, which again is not necessarily a reflection of you. This is just how this person is feeling. On the second tea leaf fortune card I pulled is Shark, and this says take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. So again, I feel like for a lot of you, this person stopped talking to you because they felt like, listen, I need to go get my money up, or I need to focus on my career. And so they feel like if they had stayed with you, they would be making less money, or they wouldn't be as focused, or whatever it is. And for some of you, it's like, they don't want to spend all their time with you and then not worry about their own future because they're so devoted to you. Because again, I feel like there's kind of a codependence in this relationship. So overall, my pile fours, I think, yes, this person misses you, but they're really busy trying to focus on themselves and work on themselves. And because of that, they do not have any intention of like coming back or rekindling with you at this time. Okay, that is it for your reading my pile fours. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.